Hey everybody, this is Shelby with Bonding with Board Games. Welcome back to painting Scythe. I did the first two videos one faction at a time. Been crazy busy with Christmas and all the holidays. So I just painted the last three factions. It takes a long time to paint, on video. So I'm just going to show you what I did, and then I'll show you some paints I used, give you a few tips here and there. But I do have all five factions complete. So this might be the last Scythe video unless I order the expansions and paint them up, which I may at some point. So depends on if you guys want me to do that, let me know. But let's go through these things and show you what we did. First faction I did was the red faction. And to make this go a lot quicker, I like to do it sometimes. I used to Valspar paint primer flat. So I painted all the mechs this color to start with. Then I had a folk art metallic. It was kind of a nice rusty color. And then I do some sterling dazzling metallic. This is a nice bright silver on there. And then of course I do a wash with the Newland oil, and you can do some dry Necron compound to dry brush it. But what happens is the red gives it a nice base, and then the shiny metallic paint gives it some really cool, like it's shiny metal in there. There we go, get that focused. And the bright silver goes on. The dry wash makes everything look dusty. And then you can hit it with some dry stuff to get some highlights. And for the base, I just use sawdust like I did in some of the other videos. And just put some of the clear glue on there and dumped it on. Figure this faction looked good walking through the dirt. I didn't do too many colors. I didn't go crazy on the guns. This is just painted it quick and dirty to get it on the table. For the red commander here and her tiger, I just used Valspar again, flat. Just try to get a color that's similar to what you're using. There weren't a ton of details on the tiger. There weren't any stripes or anything. I just did that with ink, and you can see a little star on the backpack. Turned out pretty cool. Just did some dry brushing to make the white whiskers and a little bit of ink for the eyes there. I think it turned out pretty good. And there's the commander, a little bit of red on her, but red stripe on the pants, blonde hair. But all in all, turned out pretty good, and that's the red faction. All right, for the blue faction, I did something similar. Their boats were just going to end up being kind of gray, so I started out with just and the commander was gray. So I just started out with a gray Valspar flat, and it worked just fine. And then to make it look a little bit rusty, I used some folk art again. This was a different type, different color. There's copper, a little bit of that gives it a little bit of rusty. I hit some white on the body there, and then hit some blue glaze on it to make it look like it's, I don't know, just got a little blue detailing on it. And I hit it with Newland oil to shade it. That stuff works really well. Then what I did really cool for the water, I'll show you how to do that in a minute. I did an experiment with some Elmer's glue and some ink, some blue and some green inks, and I made kind of a really cool, a little bit of sawdust in it to give it some texture. And I glued on a little bit of shrubbery, but those look kind of cool. This is the faction that can cross the water. The commander from the same faction, I just sprayed him gray also because his ox or whatever it is mostly gray, and hit some Necron or some metallic silver on the details and a little bit of dry brushing of white to make it look like they're out in the snow. I just hit a basic craft blue on him on his coat and dry brushed it. Just left as much gray as I could just to make it easy. Painted the horns white, a little bit of silver there. Some black pupils. His hair was orange on the card, so tried to do that. And we've got his gun. But I think that faction turned out pretty cool. Look like they're trumping through the sludge, getting across the river there. Let me show you how I did the water. There's a little leftover piece of what it looks like when it dries there. I kind of got some blue and green. The backside of it's real shiny because it's mostly Elmer's glue. But this was super simple. I was trying to think of how to make it look like it's crossing a dirty stream. I just had a junk container, squirted in some Elmer's glue, And then with the inks, they're real fun to play with. I just got some blue and put a dot in there. The thing about the Elmer's, it's transparent, so wherever the color's not in it, you can still see through it. And then dot of green, and I added some sawdust for texture. It's nice to get that out of my garage because I do a certain amount of carpentry in there. But you mix it up and paint it on, and it dries that really neat kind of. Get the camera to focus there. And even when it's white, you know, it's going to dry clear. So that was kind of a really cool water effect. You can add more green as you want. But you can see where the inks, you don't stir it up 100% completely. Alright, down to the final faction. I didn't have any gold paint, so I just painted them with Valspar white. In retrospect, gold would have been easier. I just had some cheap acrylic, kind of mustardy yellow I put on the mechs. And then I hit them with some dry golden griffin. And I put some ink over the tires, completely over the spokes of the wheels on the inside. And then as I hit it with the dry, it really showed up, you know, the spokes. And I just hit it with Newland oil everywhere again. But some places in the treads and stuff here that kind of didn't show real well, I went ahead and inked those with black ink. Then the base on that, you can use sawdust like I've done before, mix it with just some brown paint. But I picked up some Citadel texture. Don't waste your money on this junk. I got it for like 50 cents a thing, but it's just sawdust or whatever, aggregate mixed with paint. So just go find some dirt in the yard, make your own stuff on that. Then I sprinkled a little pepper on it, and a little bit of my other regular sawdust because it was just too plain looking. I just want to make them look like they're kind of tromping through the mud, and there's a little bit of grass squished in there. So once again, just trying to keep it simple and fast for these mechs. Finally, we got the Commander. She was pretty fun to paint with the falcon she's got. Just duded him up with a couple different colors on his wings, and another color on the edge, and did some dry brushing to show off the feathers. And she's got the top of her arrows, a little bit of white dry brushing shows off the edges of those. Got some silver detailing. Once again, same base with a little bit of sawdust and pepper dumped on it. Did some nice silver detailing on her little necklace there. But all in all, even though this wasn't a very detailed set, it was still fun to paint, and I think it turned out pretty well. But let me know if you guys want me to buy the expansion and paint it up, and we'll do some more. And might look for my other videos on the Chief's channel. We've got some Blood Rage and some video reviews, but appreciate you guys taking the time to watch all of these. And once again, this has been Shelby with Bonding with Board Games, and thank you very much for watching. Have fun gaming and painting.